Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today we're checking out the CSC FT1000MD, a super high power fat tire electric bike. Let's hit it.
The FT1000MD is CSC's top-of-the-line, most powerful electric fat tire bike yet. Its power comes from the legendary Bafang M620 motor, which puts out well over 1,000 watts of continuous power and up to 160 Newton meters of torque, which in industry terms is a hell of a lot of torque. That motor is also super fast. While the throttle takes you up to a comfortable Class 2 level of 20 miles an hour, the highest pedal assist setting with the speed limit removed got me up to just over 34 miles an hour on flat ground. On a bicycle. Well, an electric bicycle. And that's an important piece of the puzzle here. Because yes, it borders on light electric motorbike performance, but it's still an electric bicycle that you can pedal and have fun doing it. That motor has an included torque sensor, meaning the pedal assist feels surprisingly natural. Now it's not a particularly quiet motor, though what did you expect from an e-bike motor that puts out more torque than many motorcycle engines? Here's what it sounds like on a leisurely 15 mile/hour pedal assist ride. And here's what it sounds like blasting down the road at 30 miles an hour. So yeah, don't expect to be too stealthy or trick anyone into thinking you're on a purely pedal bike. But why would you? The whole point of this e-bike is the capability. That big ol' motor is tons of fun, and the bike has a fairly large capacity battery to make the fun last. The battery measures 48 volts and 16 amp hours for 768 watt hours of capacity, or a bit over average for the industry. It's a heavy sucker at over 9 pounds, but that also means you can take a load off of the bike if you had to lift it, like to throw it in the back of a truck, since with the battery, the whole bike weighs 75 pounds, though it has a fairly conservative weight rating of 265 pounds, so it can handle quite the rider. And while we're on the subject of battery, let's talk range. Range is notoriously hard to nail down on a powerful e-bike like this. With 768 watt hours of capacity in that big battery, if you used level 1 pedal assist, you could easily get an efficient 15 watt hours per mile and draw out 50 miles from the battery, though you'd be crawling along all afternoon at a slow speed and doing most of the work yourself. Or you could push the bike to its limit, blasting around at over 30 miles an hour and draining that battery in under 20 miles. At the throttle-only top speed of 20 miles an hour, you're probably looking at north of 25, maybe 30 miles of range. The point being, powerful e-bikes like these with large capacity batteries have ranges anywhere from almost nothing to pretty darn far, depending how you ride them. I'm also happy to see that CSC has embraced the company's motorcycle roots here when it comes to the components. CSC e-bikes has been in business for several years, but they were born out of CSC motorcycles, which has decades of experience with powerful two-wheelers. So I'm glad to see that they made wise decisions when it came to the bike's designs. The motorcycle heritage is more than just paint deep, though that does give you the first few clues. It's great to see the company outfit the bike with a solid suspension fork that offers long travel suspension for soaking up the bumps, but doesn't get too soft and floppy when you get back on the road. Then there are the nice parts like hydraulic disc brakes clamping down on 180mm rotors, the solid KMC chain, the double wall aluminum rims for extra strength, along with those 4-inch fat tires for supreme off-road performance, and the company also didn't cheap out on other parts, going with full alloy pedals, a beautiful color display, that adjustable stem to dial in your handlebar height for maximum comfort, etc. I would have loved to see them go a bit higher on the Shimano hierarchy for the derailleur, but the 8-speed Shimano Altus here is still going to be a good piece of kit for most riders. That said, with the Bafang M620 motor, you've gotta ride right or you'll eventually wear through your drivetrain. Easing off power when you shift is key. You can get away with crunching gears every now and again on weaker mid-drives, but the M620 is not as forgiving, especially in the higher power modes. And avoid the urge to spend all your time in top gear, too. I know, that's the fast one and thus the fun one, and many new riders will just leave it in top gear all the time, but doing that will eventually wear out that little guy with all this torque. If you're new to mid-drives, spend some time learning to shift properly and it will pay dividends, I promise. To summarize, the CSC FT1000MD is a hell of an e-bike. It's ultra powerful and packs in a big battery to go with that extra serving of power and torque. The bike is well made and well spec'd, and you even get included niceties like LED lights that are quite powerful, something that is often left off of electric mountain bikes and other off-road oriented e-bikes. But such a powerful bike with such an expensive drivetrain of course is not cheap, and the bike is priced at $3,299. That's well within the normal range for high-power mid-drive electric bikes like this, believe it or not. Now if you want to save $1,500 or so and get a hub motor fat tire e-bike, CSC has those too. They're great bikes. But this one here is their top-of-the-line bike, and it comes with much higher spec parts because of that. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, as that power requires a responsible rider and the right place to ride to really open it up. But for anyone who possesses those two requirements, the CSC FT1000MD can lay down the power and the smiles all day long.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the CSC FT1000MD. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.